The problem with prospecting for gold in Australia is that we don't have enough water. Sure, we have big gold nuggets that metal detectors can find, but there's infinitely more fine gold out there that metal detectors just simply can't see. And so that leaves us with two options: dry washing and dry panning, or dragging a bunch of really heavy water into the bush. There's no point dragging all the stuff you need for a dry washer out into the middle of the bush if you don't know there's gold there. And if you can't detect the gold there, that means that you need to dry pan. Dry panning is fraught with difficulty. You lose up to 70% of the gold that goes through a pan when you dry pan it. But I might have a solution, and it all starts with this little tray.
And a nut and bolt.
What does a robot do after sex? He nuts and bolts.
You see, what if we made a pan sluice, or a sluice pan? A pan you could sluice with.
Oh, he's Mr. Sparkle.
Almost everything I need fits in a bucket, including the iced coffee. I really do wonder just how much money we've made there.
One day, Dairy's going to sponsor us.
Can you tell my house has a preteen in it? It's 6 million degrees in Australia at the moment, and you need proper sun protection.
And that comes in the form of a circle hat.
Looking real Aussie now. Welcome to the Queen Elizabeth Gold Workings. Everything you can see behind me here is a very rare kind of working. It's an open cut mine that was hydro-sluiced that uncovered hard rock mines. Meaning all of this was sluiced for riverborne alluvial gold. But when they did that, they uncovered hard rock gold deposits and open mines just like this. So in an ancient riverbed, we have not only alluvial water carried gold, but also hard rock deposits. This is the only site I know of in my area like this. The reason that we've come to this spot is because of this patch of ground right here. When I first started detecting it, I thought we were going to get hard rock gold from the gold mine right there. But what I ended up finding was water-worn, nuggety pieces of gold in a line just here, indicating a strip of very small ground where they never finished hydro-sluicing away the river gold. I pulled 14 nuggets from here, and I'd be willing to bet that if I do some impromptu dry panning, I'm going to find a bunch more fine gold. When I did my homemade miller table build, I used this, an office invoice tray. It holds an A4 sheet of paper. In this case, all I've done to modify it is drill a small hole to allow a bolt through it. In this tray, we're going to put a piece of carpet that I would normally use in a rocker box or a high banker. I'm also going to add a piece of mesh that I would have normally in a high banker facing this way, but I'm going to reverse it in this case so that it's pointing what would be considered the wrong way in a high banker. And then I'm going to bolt this together. Now you might be asking, Chris, why? Why? There's some logical kind of backyard bogan mechanic sense here. So here's the thing, sluice boxes and pans, just like this one, require water to work efficiently. What water does is it lubricates the dirt, not in the sense of like an oil lubrication, but it creates space between all the particles within your pan or your sluice box. That space allows for stratification. Stratification is where the heavy dense things fall through that space to the bottom and the light things are forced up to the top. And it's in that method that we're able to collect gold. The only thing the riffles do on a pan is anchor the dirt to the bed of the pan so the gold doesn't fall off the bottom. Everyone thinks that washing the dirt out over the top is what the riffles are for, but it doesn't work like that because the gold should have already sunk to the bottom, so it's there to stop the dirt shifting off your pan. And that means water does 95 to 99% of all the work in a sluice box or a pan like this. But when things are dry like this and we have no water to lubricate everything, there's not really any way to create that space for things to sink efficiently. Stratification will still happen in a pan when you shake side to side like this, but the more you shake dry dirt, the more compacted it gets. The more compacted it gets, the less space there is for things to sink through it. And therefore, when you start tipping out the dirt through dry panning methods, there's nothing to stop that gold from flowing over the edge like it would be if it was in a wet pan with these riffles anchoring everything. With a dry washer, what happens is you're using air as the lubricant. The air is pushing the dirt up, creating space and allowing the heavies to sink. But when it comes to panning, we don't have that luxury. So I thought, what if we created a situation where there are many different things to disturb that compaction, such as riffles. The riffles here offer different heights. So as you're shaking things, it's going to start breaking the dirt up. And then I thought, what if we just added something for the gold that does eventually get to the bottom to hide in? So I added some carpet. And the idea here is that as I shake it around, the dirt shouldn't compact as much. And in theory, all my gold will collect in the mat at the bottom. And that means I should only have to do like one clean out at the end of the day and get all my gold. Believe it or not, I've got a little bit of a plan. We're going to see how this runs, and then we might collect concentrates in the pan to see what's in the concentrates from the new pan. And then at the end of the day, we'll clean out the mat and do it separately. But we'll see how that goes. It's not a big capacity pan, let's just put it that way. I mean, it looks like it's working. It's not compacting. I mean, that's good. But I got all this loose stuff sort of filling this up, but I don't know how far to take this down. So what I'm going to do, this might seem counterproductive. What I mean is I'm going to collect concentrates by just tipping that loose stuff off into a pan and then revealing the mat. So in theory, this is our concentrates, some of our concentrates. This should be the heavier material, but I'm hoping that a lot of the gold's going to settle into the mat. It's a hell of an experiment. I mean, this is literally 5 items: a nut, a bolt, a piece of mesh, a piece of carpet, and an invoice tray. So if it works, it could be a good little concentrator, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a way of increasing the efficiency of dry sampling. How can I get better results? How can I recover more gold, get a better idea of what's in the ground? And we're going to know if there's a bunch of fine gold in here. Fine gold is notoriously difficult to capture using dry washing or dry panning methods. So we take a shovel full of dirt down to that, and then I can just dump it in, right? And keep going. This holds about 2. You could definitely make this much bigger. And at first I'm just swirling it around and agitating it. And from what I can visually see, it looks great. Then if things get bogged down, short, sharp taps. So many people get caught up in the loss of dry washing or dry panning. You got to remember, there is no other way of accessing the gold out here other than with a metal detector. And the gold isn't detectable for the most part. So even if you lose 90% of your gold or 99% of your gold, there's no other way of getting it, unless you're willing to do extraordinary hard work of bringing water in or taking quantity of dirt out, both of which are fraught with massive problems. I think the chances of me spotting a piece of gold sitting in the mat are pretty slim. Not nil, but slim. Oh, I'm actually lucky that I bought out a really decent VLF metal detector today to check my tailings. I want to know if I'm losing big nuggets over the side, and this is going to tell me if I am. The Gold Monster has a 24-bit processor. It means it's ground balancing all the time, but manually ground balancing these things is an absolute must, especially on heavy iron dirt. And you're not going to believe this, we're currently going through a slight sun shower. These machines aren't very good on depth, but they are great on sensitivity. So far as I can tell, I haven't lost anything over the side, except for hot rocks. So they get your hopes up and then you can ground balance them out. I want to check where I found those nuggets a little while ago because this machine is more sensitive, so it will find the really small stuff. No luck with the Gold Monster, but hey, we're not here to detect today. It's the just in case machine. My microphone's run out of battery, so you'll have to excuse whatever this sounds like. I know there was gold down there. I don't know how much is left there. So before I go, I'm going to keep filling this pan up with this. This is the hard rock tailings from that mine. Now there shouldn't be really any large pieces of gold in here. I've heavily detected the whole surface of this, but if we can recover hard rock gold, we will see a big difference between the alluvial water-worn pieces and the sharp hard rock stuff. So it'll be just interesting to know if we get a mixture of gold in our results. Oh Jesus, that's hard ground. Yeah, that's a problem. By all accounts, I think I have pretty well filled that pan up. Look, there's a lot of shovels and a lot of work in that. Still got a fair amount of dirt down in the old mat there, so maybe there's some gold in that too. Or this was just a giant waste of time. We're about to find out. Two things. Everything in this bucket is from the mat and the hand sluice itself. Everything in this pan is the concentrates that came out of the riffles as I went. I'm already seeing some fantastic opportunities for improvements with that design, but there's no point even speculating until we know if we've got gold. Let that soak for a little bit. Might even need some help. That is like serious hydrophobic dirt. Now I've got to find out what's in this. We're literally just going to clean the carpet out and with some luck, see some gold. Look at that, straight away. Just wants to float. Let's see what we got out of the sluice mat itself. You can just feel the organic content in it starting to get down to just the dirt now. Down to the skinny end of it. This is that moment where was all that effort worth it? We've got some interesting big rocks. Given that this is a hard rock mine, it's worth quickly squizzing over them. Oh, no way! Is that a specimen? That's a little specimen. Oh, no shit. Ha ha ha. Specimens are notoriously difficult to catch for one reason above all else. It's attached to quartz, and quartz is much lighter than gold, so it tends to act as a sail and sail it out of your sluice box or your pan. That is a specimen. Oh, now I'm going to be a little bit more careful about checking these. I got a specimen. I was not expecting a specimen. Well, we got gold, but did we get any fine gold in that concentrate? Yeah, we did. We did. Look. There. We got 3 little pieces of gold in the upper riffles. Oh, we got more, actually. Look, some of that's hard rock gold. That piece just in the center at the bottom there is a piece of hard rock gold. Oh, we got good gold in this. Okay, I gotta find out. I gotta know, because if this has gold in it, in the mat, then that means the matting was working. If we don't get anything, that's fine, but it would be good to see a little bit. On the balance of probabilities, I don't think we're going to see very much, if anything, in the mat, just because of the way this process is working, but man, it'd be cool if there was. Yeah. I did say I wanted to see hard rock gold, and we can guarantee that that little specimen came from the hard rock area. And I do believe that at least 3 of these pieces, this one, that top one, and this one here, probably also came from the hard rock area, which just means that the grades in that hard rock area are great, because I haven't done too much work there. But the piece de resistance is from the alluvial area. That's unreal. It makes sense that these bits are finer. I mean, this might be me just trying to justify it in my own head, but because you don't have that lubrication from the water or air, the gaps are real small, so it's less likely that big things are going to sink into it. There's definitely some improvement that I can make on this pan, but I am blown away with that result.